Okay, everybody, it is the start of September 2025. Another update video. I don't really have a lot to say. I mean, I guess I do. I guess it depends on how personal I want to get, really. 2025 has been a rough year for me. I know for others it's been a good year, and I'm glad some people are doing well. I know a lot of people are also having a rough year, and I feel you. I feel you. It's been tough. It's been rough. I feel in a lot of ways I've been sliding backwards, which is the opposite direction of where I was just determined 2025 was going to go. Family stuff became more complicated. My home life became more complicated and more depressing. Streams became, for a while, I'll be honest, for a while, I'd almost pulled the plug on streaming completely. Wasn't having fun. Didn't know what to play. I don't look at the numbers, but when the numbers were going as bad as they were, and then just kind of put that on top of everything else, everything I was trying to do just kind of wasn't really working, and a lot of it is my fault. I'm not putting the effort into it. It's kind of hard putting so many gambles, I guess, is the way to put it, right? Nothing I'm trying to do can be a guaranteed success unless I was rich enough to guarantee its success, right? Which I am not. It's a good way of doing it, but sadly, I am not, right? So I feel like I've been doing a lot of gambles, and it's difficult. They don't pay off. Duplicate prints did better than I thought it was going to do, honestly, which was which was kind of a highlight. And I have been writing a lot for the sequel. It's taking a lot longer than I was hoping it would. But I am trying to put a lot more care into the second book, I guess. Not I guess. I'm trying to put more care into the second book. So it just takes a lot longer. And of course, the longer it takes, the more of a gamble it is. So I'm kind of trying to balance all that. And then, like, home life is, I mean, it's depressing as hell, right? I mean, I'm basically, I mean, I don't want to say being held hostage in a shed, but in many ways, that is the truth. So it's been difficult. It's been difficult. And then kind of, just, on top of that, having kind of everything I tried to do just kind of fall flat on its face. It's difficult. It's rough. And then on top of that, my health took a real nosedive. I'm just now, start of September, I'm just now able to start doing rehabilitation exercises. I've lost practically all of my strength. I've lost almost all of my fitness. Not that there was a lot there to begin with. And I can start very slowly doing rehabilitation exercises. Now, on the plus side, I think I will come out at the end better, not only physically, but mentally. I am also back on meds for the bipolar. I've had a lot of trouble with meds for the bipolar. My stomach does not react well to them. My blood was getting toxic the last time I was on them. Touch wood, so far, those do seem to be doing well. It's a lower dose than I was on before. I can tell it's a lower dose. And I think my doctor, I was at the doctor's this morning. I think we're probably going to try a higher dose down the road, but they just kind of want to make sure that kind of everything that they've got me on to counteract the side effects I was having before is working, and then try and up the dose as we go. This is all great. This is all positive, apart from the one side effect of capitalism, which is this all costs money. Now, I am nowhere near as bad. Medical, hospital, whatever you want to call it. Not the hospital, it's just medical care is nowhere near as bad here as it is in other places. It is kind of socially subsidized. It's not free, but it is socially subsidized. However, every time I go and see the doctor is a flat £100, right? And in the past month, maybe going on 2 months, I've seen the doctor 10 times. That all adds up, right? The medications are subsidized to a degree, but we do have to pay for every single prescription. Most prescriptions at the moment, most prescriptions are only lasting a month. Eventually, those will go to 3 months of tablet supplies, but the doctor wants to see you more, you pay more money to the doctor, blah, 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 blah. It's an evil, vicious cycle. So I don't realistically know how long I'll be able to kind of fund that going forward. The doctor is aware of that. There are possible payment plans, possible subsidies I can go for, which we are looking into. But that's also kind of a worry. I've survived the past however many years this has been, on the generosity of strangers, which I still find incredibly weird. And thank you for that. You've been incredibly generous. But the other, flip side of that is I've been living my life incredibly cheaply and incredibly boringly, depressingly, and use whatever word, adjective you want to describe that. And I think it's all just coming to a head right now. And I'm just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's the meds. I don't know what it is. It's kind of a, I've been suffering from diagnosed bipolar for a few years. Sadly, on no meds for it. But I also know I've been incredibly depressed for about 18 years. And that's too long. That's too long. And then kind of with the health scare, I will be honest, I was a little bit worried that I would not have the time to try and turn it around again, right? A little bit of fear of wasted time. The counter argument to that is that if I hadn't been doing the streaming, and if I hadn't been being supported by incredibly generous people, I would have been stuck in an office, and I honestly think everything would be worse. It's impossible to tell. I would have had money. I would have been able to buy myself nice things. But what streaming has done is it has introduced me to a fantastic bunch of people who I'm really glad that I have met, who I'm real glad have stuck around. I know it must have been hard to stick around at certain times. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. The whole concept of people watching other people on kind of streaming services is still weird to me. I do watch a couple of people. I do watch a couple of streamers. And I still find it weird, kind of the entertainment value. And when I started, I approached it more from a kind of radio perspective, which is this idea that you've got dead air. You cannot have too long a gap of silence, right? And back then I had stories and I was doing other things. So there was kind of things to talk about. And somewhere along the line, I kind of lost that ability to just kind of yap to myself. I think I'm getting it back and kind of just being able to enjoy what is happening in the moment. I think I'm getting there again. It's difficult. It is difficult. The big one for me still is, every time that I want to have a toilet, I have to ride a mile to a public convenience. And every time I do, it's a nice bike ride, at least, not so much anymore now that the rains are starting to come in. It's a nice bike ride. It clears the mind, but it is still kind of I don't know, like a cycle of shame or a kind of a reminder of just how I mean, pathetic is a good word, I think, to describe what I have allowed my life to become in many regards. And it's completely my fault. It is completely my fault. I kind of vegged out, kind of, and again, even when I was starting the stream, I was putting a lot of things out and I was a lot further along in projects than I am now. And I thought these were safe bets, and each and every single one of them crumbled to dust. And surprisingly, for those early ones, it wasn't my fault. Normally, if a project of mine is going to crumble to dust, it's because I do something to ruin it. And with those, I didn't. And I don't know. I guess this is just the idea of like compounding nonsense, right? And a lot of you, if you're even still listening to this is a little bit of a pity party, right? For me, a little bit, not 100%. I know a lot of people are having it a lot worse at the moment. I still do have a roof over my head, however many strings that comes attached with. I am still mostly, being able to afford to eat every night, which is good. So I know a lot of people have it worse. But I also know that I'm not where I want to be. And that's not just kind of, housing situation wise. That's kind of everything wise. I am not where I want to be. I am not having the fun that I want to be having. And I'm not making the progress that I want to be making. So, and I know I've been here before, but this time honestly does feel different. I did get the duplicate prints out. Okay, it still needed work. A lot of people didn't like the ending. I didn't like the ending. I'm right there with you. But I did get it out. I take that as a positive and as a good sign. I am enjoying streams again. I think there comes a time when you're streaming, there's always going to become a time where you're just not enjoying doing it. Like, it's a grind. It is a grind. I'm not one of the lucky streamers who, and I haven't tried to cultivate in my time slot kind of people I can stream with, which does make it a lot easier, just, playing games with other people and just being able to yap to them and kind of have them also move the entertainment along. It is a lot easier. It's an easier way to stream. It's a more fun way to stream, right? It's a more fun way to play games. But I do normally stream by myself. And kind of getting back to being able to kind of yap to myself, like I said, enjoy what's going on in the moment. I do want to start looking into new games again, start seeing if we can find something that I really want to play. It's been nice going back to Satisfactory. of playing it with LP on Sundays, but I did a couple of days because I just wanted to see what we were doing in that factory. We hadn't played for a few weeks, and that was nice. Just kind of bumbling along and building stuff and working on things, working on trains, getting trains wrong. Like there's just something fun about those kind of games. And I think, Satisfactory in particular, kind of just the slower pace and the kind of, you can just meander and do what you want. It's been quite nice. Been playing a lot of Overwatch still. Sometimes it's enjoyable, sometimes it really isn't. Sick of playing tank. You other Overwatch 2 players, queue for tank, right? Nobody likes playing tank. Do your share. Come on. Don't make me do it all the bloody time in quick play. And we've tried a few new games. Static Dread. I think it was Static Dread. The game in the lighthouse, that was fun. A little bit repetitive. A little bit more like busy work while trying to get a timed gated story. I would have preferred to kind of be able to work that story out at my own pace and kind of explore around. But that's not the kind of game it is. The story itself, I honestly thought was quite good. They allow you to make multiple choices, so they obviously expect you to do multiple playthroughs. I can't see that I will. I enjoyed it enough, and I may play it off stream, but I very much doubt it's a game I would go back to on stream. But I did definitely enjoy it, and that was gifted to me by a community member. So thank you. It was very much appreciated. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to be positive, but I'm also trying to be realistic at the moment. The future of me streaming is in, it is in doubt, 100%. I do want to keep on doing it. Whether that entails 5 days a week, starting at 1 o'clock UK time, consistently, or whether I scale that back, or whether I scale that up, is kind of in flux. And September, I am gonna probably play around with things a little bit. Starting with, I was going to do this today. It is the 1st of September as I'm recording this. I was going to start today, but I had doctors, so I may start this on the 2nd. I may move it. I may move it on to the 3rd, just so I can get a good night's sleep. But the plan, stream wise, just to try it out for a couple of days, maybe probably a week, is to start at 11 a.m. my time, and then go till. Well, I normally go to 5, so I would go to around 6 or 7, depending on how it goes. And that stream would be split. So the morning section starting at 11 for 3 to 4 hours would be me just trying to get stuff done. So whether that's writing book chapters, whether that's working on game ideas, got a lot of ideas for games, got a lot of ideas for a lot of things that I just kind of want to start working on. And I feel I would like to get, kind of as part of my workflow, I would like to get to the stage where I can kind of work on these things while streaming, while interacting, just to see if that works. I would like for that. And the reason I would like for that is I enjoy streaming. Streaming is something that I like doing. And if I've got myself a start time and, hopefully people will be there to watch, then I know that I will do it. I know I'll be up and I'll be sat here and I will be doing it. And if, as part of that routine, if as part of that routine, I can get other work done as well, I think that's ideal, right? And then I would imagine as part of that, as I'm working on projects, as kind of things, take precedent. Then we may cut that down. There's certain times on. One of the things, especially when I'm writing a book, one of the things that I don't know if I should do, and this wouldn't work because I would be thinking out loud. I'm not a quick typist. That's one thing. But should you hide what you're writing or should you show what you're writing? Right now, I'm very much a verbal thinker. So if I was hiding what I was writing, if you're watching, you're going to know what it is, right? I don't think writing it is why people can watch it would put them off picking up the final product, whether that be free or for sale or whatever. But again, I don't know. So that's kind of what the first thing I'm going to try stream wise is to try and lengthen them. And again, trying to lengthen them. I'm saying lengthen wrong. Is lengthen even a word? It doesn't feel like a word in my mouth right now. That feels like really weird. Lengthen. I'm pretty sure it is a word, but it just doesn't. Anyway. Good. I'm now going crazy. I've been crazy for years, love. Now I'm talking to myself. That's probably fine. That'd be good for streaming. What the fuck was I saying? Yes, I'm going to stream for longer. And then around stream, again, it's trying to get into a routine. I've got to do my rehabilitation exercises. So if I can get those done before stream, and then I have to do some after stream as well. But if I can kind of just get that, start to get structure back in my day, and I think trying to do early streams is going to be the easiest way to kind of force me to kind of start my day, right? I mean, 11 is still late to start the day, right? I'm normally up by 5, and I do things, but I'm also kind of hoping that possibly by streaming it, I can kind of stay more focused and kind of just pick a thing, run with it for a while, and get it done. Interestingly, as we start to experiment with these longer streams, that's going to be the complete opposite. I'm going to be all over the place. I've got a lot of projects I want to kick off, and kind of talk about and have going, and then we'll try and settle down. If I like the longer streams and if I think I can do work while streaming, then we'll settle down into it. And that's kind of all I've got. No, one more thing. I don't know what the final form of this is going to look like, or how it's going to work. But I've been saying for a while that I want to do movie reviews, and I'm going to do movie reviews. For Patreons, there will be a post because there's a little bit more I want to say on this idea, but I don't particularly want to put it in this update video. So there will be a post going up on Patreon soon for anyone who is a patron with the movie review idea and kind of the input I would like and how I would like to do it going forward. I will be starting with the first Police Academy movie. We will be reviewing the entire Police Academy series. I don't know why I've decided that, but that is what I've decided. And then we will take it from there. Is there anything else that I want to talk about? I've mentioned the duplicate prints already. It is out on Amazon. Anybody, if you want to pick it up, it would be very much appreciated. And as with honest feedback, I do want honest feedback. I know that book has got problems, and I'm hoping to address a lot of those kind of problems in the second book. On the second book, that is in 3 parts. The first part is 1 book, but 3 parts. The first part is first drafted. It is done. Working on the second part, working on part 2, and then obviously I will work on part 3 afterwards. Part 1 and part 2 are roughly the same size. Part 1, so far, has turned out to be a lot easier to write than part 2. And I think that's because part 1 follows a more kind of, what's the best way to describe it? Kind of like generic fantasy detective idea. Whereas part 2 honestly gets dark real quick. And I don't know if I want it to get that dark. The first draft is going to be dark. I just kind of have to push through and get the story out. I don't know if I will keep it that dark because it gets dark, man. It gets dark. It is still fun. Even in the darkness, I'm still, managing to find the humor. And there's a lot of nonsense. There's always going to be a lot of nonsense in anything I write. But it is coming along. It is coming along. I know I said I wanted to get it out by end of September, early, middle of October. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's very unrealistic. I think I have to accept that a time frame for me to get a reasonable size book out is going to be 6 months at the minimum. Which is a shame because I would like to be able to do it quicker for multiple reasons. One of which is undoubtedly money. But I think realistically it's a 6-month process. But again, if we can nail that 6-month process down, because again, I want to do Duplicate Prince 2, Electric Boogaloo, not its title. Want to do that, want to get it out, and then I want to move on to The Necromancer's Journey, which I'm hoping is going to be the project for 2026, early 2026. But as always with these videos, a lot of that depends on how long I can stay doing this. And the longer streams, all of this is to try and keep on doing this for as long as I possibly can. I've got to put more in, so hopefully that I can get some more out. And again, kind of bringing more energy, bringing more nonsense, bringing more fun. And, I feel I've been incredibly depressing for the past month, maybe longer. I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it. I just don't want to do that anymore. I just kind of want to get fit, want to get healthy, and want to get something over the finish line, that will move me forward in life. So yeah, that's kind of where I am. I know I probably should have asked this question a long time ago, but with these update videos, should I plan them more, or are people just happy with the train of consciousness nonsense that I put out. I honestly don't think it would be any different if I did plan it. There'd just probably be graphics and things that were no relevance to what I was talking about at the time. So yeah, but as always, thank you everybody for sticking with me. It really is appreciated. I honestly can't tell you how much it has meant that you guys have found me, have stuck around, and have supported me as much as you have. It really does mean a lot. It really has got me through a tough time, and I hope you will stick with me for longer, for as long as I can do this. I would very much appreciate the support, and yeah, hopefully we'll get Annabelle 2. Which is actually called Where is Annabelle? I don't know why I'm being coy about the title. I think I've already announced it somewhere. I think it's Where's Annabelle rather than Where is. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you're having a good day, evening, night, wherever you are. I hope you're taking care of yourself, both physically and mentally. And again, thank you very much for sticking around and giving me all the support and helping me through what has been an incredibly rough, way too many years. So I appreciate it, and see you all around. Bye for now, everybody.